Alright, everybody. Today, I'm going to try and stay off the lanes and take a rest day, but we're going to go ahead and give it a shot at an informational video and try and, explain one of the things that was really hard for me to learn at first was how to go about picking the right 6-ball arsenal for league. This could be for league night, for a state tournament, a youth tournament, anything like that. And we'll just get started with one of the biggest things that I learned through my time was learning how to play within your game. This is really important, and a lot of people, a lot of younger two-handers, they look up to a lot of these, high rev, high speed players, and sometimes that's not you physically, you're not big enough to do it, and you're playing out of your game, which is making you more inconsistent than you think. It's not all about how many revs you can generate on a bowling ball, it's how many revs can you generate consistently. It doesn't have to be 500 or 550, that comes with time. And there's some conditions out on a lane that I'm not using all of my hand. I'm rarely using all of my hand because, if anything, it's actually hard to control at that point. And so going into, we'll break down a league bag first. My league bag is at the bowling alley right now. I don't have it, but when you start drilling more bowling balls and you start getting some drillings and you figure out your PAP, you will start to find cover stocks and cores that shape the best for you, that you roll the best with. First category in my bag will always be, what ball am I most comfortable with? What ball do I feel like I can score with on any pattern, any house, no matter what? So this comfortable ball slot, it could be your benchmark ball. Storm-wise, it could be anything from an IQ Tour to an XL, Summit. In a Brunswick sense, as a benchmark ball, we're talking about something like an MV Tour, the Effect Tour, maybe a Vibe, any of the Vibes. Next, after you have your benchmark ball, the ball that you are just most comfortable with, we're going to try and find a weak symmetric ball. This is something that is really shiny. The lanes get tough and they get dry, especially going later into a block. You want to be able to have something that you can get through the fronts of the lanes when everything's gone. And there might be a ball that you have that you're like, this ball doesn't hook ever. But at some point in time, you'll get to lanes where everything hooks too much except that one ball that you think does nothing, because that's what it's meant for. So in this sense, I would bring something like a weak Tundra Fire, the Ethos Pearl, a Vibe, a Raw Hammer, a Rhino, something like that. And then to go with symmetrics, I would also do a very strong symmetric ball. That could be drilling, core, cover stock, whatever. Strong symmetrics, for example, the Rhino Pro. The Melee is discontinued, but that's usually like, my Ethos is my weaker, get through the fronts ball, and the Melee is a ball that I know that I can jump left with if I need to, and it always going to make the corner. Next, we'll go into asymmetrics, which I love asymmetric bowling balls. I love pin down drillings. I love being able to see my ball read the lane as early as possible, because you're able to predict transition that way. And it makes for a more consistent ball roll. So the first thing I'll usually bring, so we have our benchmark ball, a weak symmetric ball, preferably shiny, and a mid to strong symmetric ball, usually shiny or dull as well. And then we go into a weak asim. And a weak asim, usually you could have it dull, you could have it shiny. You're throwing your symmetrics, and they're just pushing too far down the lane. And they're reading, but they're reading really, really late. You're not getting any ball reaction. You would have an option for a weak asymmetric ball. That is the Mantra, the hitter, and a weak asymmetric ball would be very helpful on any condition because it gives you that early roll and that early read, but it's not gonna just bounce off the spot. It should read and then stop and then go, which helps you blend out a shot. And it's very similar to what your benchmark ball is gonna do, and your benchmark ball could be either symmetric, asymmetric. It's literally just whatever you're most comfortable with. And yeah, so I always try and bring a weak asymmetric ball if I just can't get anything to read the lane, but I don't need something really strong. I'm gonna throw a weak asymmetric, usually dull with 2000 on it. Bring a big rolly asym. And a lot of people don't like big chuggy balls, but I think there's really a time and a place for them to be used. The lanes could be tighter than normal for some reason for you. Your ball could literally, you're playing that mark that you've played the last couple weeks in a row, and it's just not going anywhere. And sport shot condition wise, big asyms are very, very helpful. You could go into a tournament and hit your gem or your pure envy or even the original extreme envy. You could hit those with 500, and it sounds crazy, but on sport shots 500 big asym is usually the way to go. And on a house shot condition, they usually come out of box 1500 to about 2500, and at lane shine, they're very, very helpful to have a big chuggy ball to be able to get through the fronts and read the fronts, but still be able to make the corner when nothing's working. And then obviously for a 6, I always spare ball. Throw straight at your spares, every spare. Maybe if you leave a 9 pin or you leave a head pin, I understand throwing your strike ball, but what is really going to separate you from being a house shot bowler to being a sport shot bowler is being able to shoot straight at your spares, especially when you're traveling and you're not bowling on a house shot. You can't risk taking 5 or 6 shots to figure out how to pick up a 7 pin with your strike ball. But every single place you go, if you're able to take your hand out of it and throw your spare ball straight, your scores are going to increase, and you're going to become a better bowler on different conditions. So I preach to everybody, no matter how old you are, no matter how you throw the ball, throw straight at your spares. It only makes you more consistent, and it only gives you more options. So yeah, so to break it down really quick, just wanted to talk through in a video because I'm not bowling today. This is how I build a 6-ball arsenal. So we're going to go your benchmark ball, a weak symmetric bowling ball, a mid to strong symmetric bowling ball, a weak asymmetric, and a big rolly asymmetric ball, and then your spare ball. And if you're one-handed and you can take your hand out of it and roll straight up the back, you could add something else in there. I know a lot of guys like to throw urethane at their corners. And yeah, so this is just house shot, how I go into a house shot, no matter if I'm traveling for UBA or Fed and I'm bowling on, different conditions. This is how I go about building a 6-ball bag. And usually it's not even about, what the newest stuff that came out. I just want to throw the new thing. New ball syndrome. It's dangerous, okay? And if there's anybody that understands new ball syndrome, it's me. But build a bag based on different shapes to have as many diverse options as possible. Also, you don't want to bring brand new stuff or new surface you've never tried before to a tournament or to a travel league or league. Some people take league very seriously. Some people take league as practice. And practice. Try new surfaces on your weak symmetric ball to see if maybe you could get a different shape you've never seen before. if you go out to league one night and you really struggle because your ball just did nothing and your arsenal just did not work, try surface changes. I'll make a video about surface changes in the future, but there's a lot of ways to become a very better bowler just by understanding your equipment and knowing what it does. Sorry for a TED Talk. If you guys enjoy this, let me know, and I will continue to share my knowledge that I've learned for the past years and years and years. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any other specific questions, just comment down below. I will answer, and let me know what else you guys want to see. I would love to sit here in my little closet space and talk about bowling. If there's a question, if there's something that you want explained, if you want to learn, just reach out down below. I'll be sure to reach back out. You guys have a great day. Subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out, and it continues to push me to keep making content that you guys can learn off of. And peace out.